I'm just going to jump right in.
Okay, go for it.
We're just going to jump right in. Talk to me about the transition from sort of being your local
Hmm.
queen celebrity that because I know that you didn't just start doing drag when RuPaul's Drag Race called.
Yeah.
So what was the transition like to you from being a local queen to being a name that everybody knows?
Well, it was like a multi-tiered, multi-step process, and that makes it sound like a pyramid scheme, but it was like, I started doing drag at this point over 20 years ago, like 21 years ago,
Mm.
right here in Portland, Oregon, where I live once more. And, you know, drag and queer communities are so regional, and then the drag is so shaped by the queer community that it exists within and the city that it exists within. So I feel like I had this really wonderfully progressive, um, privileged, advanced queer experience growing up in Portland and getting to start drag at age 15. And that
That's amazing.
doesn't.
And can you think about that, like you being able to start drag at 15, and then there's this conversation in America right now that drag is not something they want our youth to be able to have access to.
Yeah, for me, and I think for so many people my age or around my age who started drag at similar points in their life, I would argue that it saved our lives,
Yes.
that it gave us an outlet. It gave us somewhere to feel strong and confident when life was beating us down. And I feel so privileged that I was in a family and in a city. No one in my life close to me really ever questioned that it was like corrupting my morality. They were just like, how late are you staying out? Who's giving you a ride home? I
Right,
was really
right.
privileged in that. Um, so I definitely was doing drag for a while, but as far as the industry goes, like I was completely green. I refer to it as overnight success because I went from being, like a pretty good drag queen locally in Seattle and Portland to, yeah, winning Drag Race season 5. And that like took me up this step. But Drag Race, 12 years ago wasn't what it is today.
Because didn't
So
you
then
you didn't just do season 5, you did All Stars as well,
I
right?
did All Stars, but that was a decade later.
Right.
And so when I say it was like this multi-step thing, it was like I was really hustling between season 5 and All Stars 7 because I very distinctly and adamantly chose the theater path as what I was going to do.
Yes.
And we have so many queens who have carved out their own paths, like Bianca is a stand-up comedian who sells out everywhere she goes. Adore Delano's a rock star, Sasha Colby, Violet Chachki, like all the winners you can think of have like something that they really are like bringing. And I
Mhm.
chose theater, and theater was a harder path and a less like talked about path when I chose it 10 years ago.
But baby, let
But
me tell you something. Let me tell you something. You were mopping the girls up with that theater. That's the only thing is like, sometimes you come in, I got my girls or whatever, and then I see you. And I'm like, oh shit. Like she is about to mop these girls clean up with these acting chops. But I think that is what, because you've been in theater obviously before Drag
Mhm.
Race. And so I think obviously myself as well, I grew up in theater doing 12 years of community theater, learning
Yeah.
movement and dance and all these different things or what have you.